So for me, two really important things were key for my kind of coming to understand my vocation. That's Our Lady and the Eucharist. But interestingly, my growing up, a Catholic family, or my mum was Catholic, but is Catholic, but we weren't kind of that intense. We didn't have a really good prayer life. We prayed maybe meal times. You go to mass and just kind of going through the motions. I was more interested in going to football. I'd miss Sunday mass a lot as a child just because I wanted to play football instead. And then got time about confirmation age, so about 13 or so. And I was actually at that point I was an atheist. I would have said I don't believe. Instead, I'm not sure. I don't want to do confirmation. In fact, during the confirmation classes, we had an experience of adoration, which I didn't know. I didn't actually know that at the time, and I thought, oh, this is just like a cult. I don't like all this stuff. It's strange. So I told my mum, and she said, you need to just kind of figure this one out for yourself. So she gave me the freedom to choose. So at that point, I then had a really wonderful experience kind of with the idea of reason, and that faith and reason do work together. So I kind of had believed in God, but I wasn't sure about the church or anything like that. And then many years passed, and I get to my A-levels, and I have a plan. Right, I'm going to do English and drama. It's a bit strange, I know, but I'm going to do English and drama, and I'm going to go off to Kent University or something. And I get just a little bit below what I need to get. And then there's a strange day where I'm trying to find a new university to go to, realising that actually I don't want to do English and drama, I want to do something completely different. So I end up doing history, which I didn't really do at A-level, going to the smallest university in the country, in Wales, Lampeter. It took me 7 hours to get there. And while I was there, I hated every minute. I hated the people there. The whole time I knew 5 people and they were all very weird. It was like being in the desert. It was awful, an awful time in my life. But it was strange because my mum rang me up one time. She said, have you been going to mass? And I thought, actually, you know what, maybe I might just go. And so I went, and that was quite nice. And then obviously doing my history, I was learning about sources, and I thought, well, for history sources, what's true? How can we discern whether something is true or not? So I'm learning about, the Bible. So not from the university, but I'm looking for myself. Well, is this true? And I found out actually it is very easily. You can see that it's true. So I'm on this kind of journey of intellectually. Well, this is all starting to make sense. I go to the Holy Land to volunteer with some friends, and it was unbelievable. I just saw all the places that Jesus really was, learning about how some trees are dated to that age, so we know that that's exactly where the Garden of Gethsemane was. This is definitely where the cave was, where the nativity happened. This is the cell that Jesus was actually in. That's actually the cross. That's actually the tomb. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so real, so real. And I got home, and I went to mass as much as I could. There was only 3 masses on, but I tried to go as often as I could. There was adoration on, and I tried to go as often as I could. And then I got to a point when learning this on this journey of faith and learning about vocation and thinking, Lord, I've made so many mistakes. And you know everything. You know me better than I know myself. Because I actually harm myself and make wrong decisions. So, just tell me what to do. And I'll do it. And it was like a massive beam came off my shoulders. And I felt so happy. And then kind of quite shortly afterwards I ended up getting my first girlfriend. And then thinking about priesthood as well kind of popped in. And then I was just kind of more drawn to priesthood, just immediately. And I think it's because of the Eucharist. I just fell in love with the Eucharist, fell in love with adoration. And I mentioned Our Lady because at all these different stages, Our Lady was there. And I always say that she kind of grabbed me and dragged me into where I am right now, into seminary. And I was just when I reflect, I think the church was called Our Ladies of Mount Carmel. We had the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe at Bedford. There's just so many signs of Our Lady around. And in the end, I just attribute everything to Our Lady and to the Eucharist. So thank you for listening.